Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Painting with Victor. Hey, it's December. Gosh, what is today? December what? The 5th? I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4th, maybe? December 4th, something like that. And it's a Wednesday morning, and I'm back in the studio, and I wanted to do just a quick little video. What do you do with some of your old paintings, some that you did maybe 2 or 3 years ago that it's like, I'm not going to give this away. I don't want to throw it away. Definitely not something that I would sell. And I went through a box that I had in a spare bedroom, and I had 2 boxes actually of paintings that I did a few years ago. I don't know when I did this one, but anyway, it was a few years ago. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll go out and I'll buy some new canvas. But what about these old canvases I have that I've already painted on? I'm not going to paint over this, although, way back 100 years or 200 years ago, some artists did that. I did use a palette knife on this rock formation here. This is actually a golf course out in Colorado area, but it's got some thick paint on it, and it's like, I'm not going to paint over this. I guess I could sand it down, but why go through all that trouble? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the canvas off of the stretcher bars. I've already started loosening up the staples on this one, and so I just got my handy dandy little tool here and just kind of going under the staple and prying it up, and go around this these stretcher bars. It takes a little bit of effort to kind of dig up under there and raise that sucker up, and what I'll do is I'll take with my handy dandy little tool. I got pliers on here, and I'll come along and I'll just pull all these staples out. And I've done this before, especially if I find something that's like, that painting sucked, and it's just a practice painting. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll just turn the canvas around, and paint on the other side, gesso it, and attach it, gesso it, and paint on it. So I've got some paintings where I got something on this side, and then I've got something on that side as well. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm just digging in here with this little, actually it's kind of like a little bottle opener, but it's got a tapered end that allows me to get up under the staples. And I've worked my way around pretty good there. So use my little tool here and just start pulling the staples out. This is a pretty quick process. I really don't care if I damage this canvas, because I'm not going to do anything with it but maybe throw it away. Now I could, which is an idea for you to think about, if it's something that you want to keep, and maybe it was something that you did early on in your art career and you don't want to throw it away. Don't throw it away. Just roll it up, put it in a kind of a tube, a paper tube of some sort. Maybe it's a paper towel tube. You can recycle those. In fact, I think I got one here in the trash can, just to kind of show you here what you could do with it. You could roll your canvas up real tight, just slide it down in there, and stick it in a corner somewhere, stick it under a bed, whatever, and you've got it. You could do 2 or 3 canvases like that. You could roll them all up together, stick a rubber band around them, put some tape around them or something, and just store them off somewhere. And because you may want to hold on to it and say, hey, I did this one back 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and I just want to kind of see my progression here. How am I doing as an artist? Am I getting any better? Instead of having all these paintings up all over your house, or stored somewhere, you can just store the canvas, roll it up, and put some tape around it, save it, and then pull them out later at some later date and time, and take a look at them and do some comparison, and just look at, okay, am I getting better? I like the rock formation. but my green sucked or whatever, you know. I mean, you know, hey, I don't have as much depth perception with the trees in the background, trying to get the rock to stand out. You know, you can use it to critique yourself, and then hopefully, you know, you'll recognize that, and you can say, hey, I'm getting better since that time, and my greens have gotten better. My bushes, my foliage, you know, trees, shrubberies, things of that nature have gotten better over time, and hopefully they will, because it's just like anything else. You've got to practice and you got to work at it. And if you're just painting once a week, you're not going to make much progress. You know, if you're just trying things out and you just do it once a week, like I said, you're not going to make much progress. It's going to take you a long time to see any progress in your work. Okay, so I recommend that you know, try to, if you're really serious about painting and doing art, you got to set some time aside several times a week. For those artists that are full time, it's a full time job. It's something that you're doing every day. You're doing something related to your art business, whether you're stretching canvas, building stretcher bars, you're refurbishing a frame, you're working on your website, whatever the case may be, but you're constantly doing something related to art. Now, if this is just a hobby for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want a hobby, painting, hey, that's great. A lot of people start off as a little hobbyist, and the next thing you know, there's people are saying, hey, I love your work. Are you selling any of it? And the next thing you know, you got a following, and Facebook is just blowing up or whatever. And you says, hey, I can turn this into making a business, you know, turn it into a business. And so, hey, yeah, you know, but if you want to do it as a hobby, that's fine. And you might just do it once or twice a week, and that's okay too. But what works, you know, for you? And that's what I say a lot in my videos. It's what works best for you. What works best for me may not work best for you. That's the beauty of doing having YouTube is you can do a search on that and you can find all kinds of things for you to do out there and improve your skills and things like that. And so find something that works for you. See there, I just stuck that canvas down in that tube, and I could set it off to the side if I want to, and store it somewhere. And I could definitely have gotten maybe 3 or 4 of the same size canvases in there. But just a little quick video, just to how you can recycle some of your canvases or stretcher bars. I've got rolls of canvases. I've got canvas that is not primed. I got canvas that is primed. And I will definitely do a video on cutting the canvas to the length that I need. I'll show you how I use my staple gun. I got an electric staple gun that I use, and stretching it and getting it tight. I like a real tight, taut canvas. Sounds like a drum. There are tools that you can use, like these are stretcher pliers for your canvas. Here's a little tip for you to how you can use these, because if you're just using them just stretch canvas, hey, that's great, and they work good because they got some good grip in them here, little teeth in there, and it's wide, so you can really grip that canvas and pull and stretch and staple it in. But I learned from another artist how they use this to actually squeeze paint out of the tube. And let me just show you real quick here. I got some Winsor & Newton raw umber, and actually I can just take this and just squeeze that down inside there, squeeze it on both sides, and I can force that paint up to the top of the tube, what I call the top, you know, where the cap is, and then I can just turn it over like so, take my pliers, squeeze it again, and I can get more paint out of the tube and up to the top or where the cap is, and you know, not waste any paint that's left in the tube. One of the things I wish Winsor & Newton and Gamblin and some of these other art paint supply companies would do is not use these metal tubes. I thought about this the other day. I said, why not use a tube that's like your toothpaste, the plastic, vinyl, whatever it is, okay? These things crack and break, and the next thing you know, you got dents in it and cracks in it, and you're leak. See, I've got tape on this one here to try to patch up a hole because it'll just start leaking out. So if you're squeezing it out, and the next thing you know, I got, dang, man, look, I got raw umber all over my hand. How did I get that? I put the paint on my palette, and it's like, how did it get all over my hands? Because these tubes, Winsor Newton and Gamblin, if you hear this or come across this, please work with the manufacturers there and replace these metal tubes with something like a toothpaste tube. I believe years and years and years ago, and I'm showing my age here, I think toothpaste came in metal tubes like this. So get with it, art supply companies, Winsor, Newton, and Gamblin, and anybody else, and use a plastic or a nylon type tube. That way, sure, you can squeeze it all up in there. You can bend it over. You can do pretty much what I was showing you about using the little stretcher bars to clamp that and force that up in there. There's also these little ring things that you can get and twist them and, you know, force the paint up in there. But I think, you know, having something like that would save a lot of headache and wasted paint and things of that nature. Because I think it'll be easier to get the paint out of the tube. So Winsor Newton, Gamblin, please, you know, that's just my opinion for what it's worth. But anyway, all right. So I've got some stretcher bars here, and I'm not sure of the size. So let's just measure this out. 11 by probably 14. Yeah, it's 11 by 14. Probably what I'll do is I'll mark it over here somewhere just as 11 by 14. I definitely will do it once I get the canvas on here, because sometimes I don't always recognize when I pick one up, you know, well, what's the size of that? Is it 9 by 12, 11 by 14? Is it 12 by 16, you know, 16 by 20? I kind of got an idea. I'm getting better at that, but then sometimes I'll just label it on the back. I definitely do that with my picture frames. I'll measure those out and I put a little painter's tape on there and put the dimensions on there, you know, 12 by 16, you know, 9 by 12, whatever it is. So, but anyway, yeah, this is great. So I've got these stretcher bars here, and the next step will be to roll out some canvas, cut it, and start stapling it on. Thanks for tuning in today, and hope you have a great Wednesday, and stay safe out there, folks, and tune back in later. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment as to what you'd like for me to talk about or demo or give my opinion on. And just share some information with you about painting, oil painting, materials, supplies, and things of that nature. So subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.